My pet peeve, the term hustler. Yeah, it's all of us. Hey, you got to hustle, Hustlers, hustler, hustle, hustle, hustle. I freaking hate that term. Now, look, it's just a pet peeve. I know that the term is meant to say that, you know what, you've got to do what needs doing. You've got to grind. You've got to work hard, you know. And you've got to profit. You've got to focus on. But the reality is that, for me, in particular, the term is a very limiting term relating to people's mindsets. It's used very broadly, and I don't think it's a very healthy term relating to young business people or new business people. For whether they're young or not, it's not irrelevant. But when they're new to business, people going into business and allowing that term to become part of their vocabulary on a day-to-day basis relating to how their mindsets would operate, I think is very, very, very limiting. I understand that there's a place for that term, hustling, because look, for a lot of small businesses, for a lot of person going into business, the term is appropriate. Things like cash flow matters. Things like making sure that everything you do has some kind of net profit attached to it. So you believe you're not doing it in vain. But as I said, it's so strong in its use that I believe it's not something that I enjoy utilizing at all, because in business, you go through, and as a business person, you go through different phases of business. And I think a lot of people get blocked by thinking that business is only one phase. No, it's not. It's absolutely not. There are different phases of it. And look, guys, I'm not talking about you, the people here that have startup funding, of millions or have support structures. I'm talking about people that generally don't have a background in understanding how these processes work. It's dangerous to make those terminologies a part of your thinking or a part of your day-to-day mentality just because of the phase process. I understand if you are bootstrapping a business, going into business with no money, okay, and you're bootstrapping it, and you have to hustle in order to survive. But look, get the hustle over and done with as quickly as possible so you can start building systems. Now we're talking about business. Building systems, having processes and systems in place, refining those systems, optimizing those systems, that comes and should be at the forefront of everything, and once you're done with that stage of building systems, refining your systems, you'll move to another stage of business where you are busy focusing on getting the right people, the right teams together to manage and run these systems and processes. And that's so far from a hustle. To the hustle sounds like, to me, it's like being a gambler. You're hustling, you're taking a chance, and no, business is not about taking a chance in that particular perspective. Once you start building systems or get to the phase where you're starting to build systems, I don't believe by any means that you are hustling. You're actually building something. And once you get to the chance where you're actually building teams to run these systems, managing people on that level, where you can step outside and work on your business, not in it. That's the stage where you become an entrepreneur. That's the stage where you become what I consider to be a business person. It's just my opinion, So, but I do think that there'd be a lot of people that agree with me, and believing that business is about hustling, entrepreneurship is about hustling. To me, those two just don't connect. So, as I said, this is just a pet peeve, it's something that I wanted to express. And I do believe that there's power in words. When we utilize certain words, we don't realize that we are either empowering ourselves or limiting ourselves or others. So it's my wish to see that word hustler die, so that more people can get connected with the fact that they need to build systems, or build teams and teams at a later stage once their systems are built and refined. So build something, or have the aim of building something. And when you've built the systems, build the people to run the business, and that's the progression of the entrepreneurship journey. But we're not all stuck in the hustler phase. Good gosh, I hope not. There's you only have so much time left. You don't want to be hustling when you're in your 60s and your 70s and your late 50s. Don't do that. Don't do that. Build something.